right. We may be having a little trouble out of Facebook. That's okay. We'll get that resolved. Um, yeah. Let's do it this way. So, good evening. Welcome to Modern Spiritualists.
Sorry, my phone went off.
Oh, that's Kathy calling in.
The joys of live podcasts.
Well, no, that's just Kathy calling in.
Oh,
You know, that's the way I see it. I'm in the middle. All right, story time, and then we'll get into today's topic. So, I'm in the middle of teaching a class. My phone is turned off. And we're talking about spirit and making their first psychic connection and understanding the subtleties of it. And my phone's in my pocket. And it goes off and starts playing my exercise playlist. I'm like, the phone is turned off, and here I am hearing, sweating to the thug, and I'm like, okay, fine. I lay it on I show the class to turn off. I'm like, all right, Spirit, keep playing your games here. Keep playing them. You're going to get salted before the day's out.
perhaps they picked up somebody being anxious in the group and they wanted to chill them out.
Well, they did, because I love my students when I have classes.
Yeah.
They come in very serious because they all know, I don't play. I'm old school educationer.
Yeah.
We go through class, we have fun, but serious stuff is serious stuff. So yeah, Spirit had real fun with me and my phone that day.
But then it shows your students that the clarity is there.
Yeah.
When Spirit want you to know something, love or money, they will make sure you know.
Exactly. And they're going to make sure that you get the message. You're going to get it one way or another, whether you like it or not.
Definitely.
Yeah. And also it kind of like, lightened the mood because, we had someone with a service animal. And that student was so scared about having their service animal in class. I don't have a problem with them. I love service animals. They behave, they come in, they sit down. It got to the point that I just started giving it. I was like, and here's Rico's handout, because, literally the dog was sitting there interacting in class.
Yeah.
But, what he detected, what he was specialized in was detect her sugar and other hormones dropping in her body, because that was like her signals for certain episodes. Yeah. And he went on. This was over a year class, and one day he just got up and would not leave me alone. And she's like, "Come sit down. Come sit down." Check my sugar. It was in the basement.
See,
yeah.
But then that proved to you that you had a connection with him as well.
Very, because he's not going to pick up on me unless he actually gives a damn.
Yes. Yeah.
But so how has your week been, Firefly?
It's been really, really busy. We've got, how can I put it? We've got a new arrival coming into the family just before Christmas. So we've been shopping.
Awesome. Getting all the bobs and knobs and things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive Christmas, but it's one that's going to be worth it.
But it's one of those, you're going to remember this Christmas forever.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And, it's going to be quick. It'll be comfortable. It'll be a new engagement. We may even have a new co-host sometimes, and that'll be okay.
Well, you never know.
I know.
Well, you'll get pictures anyway.
Exactly. But we, we'll start training them early. That's the way I see it.
Well, never say never.
Exactly. Well, next generation, got to get them ready early.
Definitely.
At age 3, I was annoying my grandmother trying to be the caller ID. Oh. So what is your earliest psychic memory? Is it the car episode?
I was really, really little. I've always deja vu. I've always had since as far back as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just been little things. I noticed when I was about 5 that my nan used to just come and sit by the side of me and have a conversation, and I'd answer her, and then she'd come back, smile, and said I knew it.
Right.
And it's just grown and grown and grown.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, people always say, oh, I'm worried my child have got an imaginary friend. It's like, no, your child, every child have got that gift.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to, yeah. But they don't understand that.
No, they don't. And it's like, and I think that is a lot of the growth that has to occur in our culture and our ideaism.
Yes.
That's part of normal human growth. Now, some imaginary friends come for a time and then they fade away.
Yes.
Some stay forever. Some, and I think we'll get there.
I think so. I think it's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really is.
I think it's a very important thing also.
I also think I don't know how you feel, but I think parents tend to tell a child off if they say they've got an imaginary friend.
Well, I think that they tend to try to make it impossible.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not fair as well, I don't think.
It isn't fair. It isn't comfortable. It isn't right. And I don't think that it's correct for them to deal with. I think that they should really, be very open to the growth, open to the way things are, open to like really wanting to, let the child grow.
As well, this is going to sound really random. We can't talk about medical.
Right.
But so many people say they have mental health issues these days.
See, I debate if it's like, I'm going to sound really Scientology. I don't believe so. I think that we have a lot of people that are trying to not, tap into, like they're scareful of tapping into themselves, because, that's the demon world. And then we have the other side there that's really unfocused.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, we have a lot of ADHD, but that's because our brains are moving at the speed that we are.
Yeah. And no, I don't mean this in a derogatory way to anybody that have got mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, people say, I hear things, I see things, and I'm like, oh my God.
Define see things. Do you see like, define, and this is what people do not like when, I'm going through this. And what I mean by is going through my checklist, because there's a fine line. I've made jokes to my husband. Anytime I want a vacation, I can get a 30-day vacation just by talking to the psychologist. But there's a fine line. As we said, and like schizophrenia is a real thing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. But there's also the other side of that, where there is undefined mediumship skills, undefined psychic skills, undefined clairvoyancy, clairaudiency. And that's where I think you have to go through medical testing.
Yeah. But of course, over here, that's not part of the testing.
Really?
Yeah. It's still not recognized in the medical profession.
Mm-hmm.
As strange as that sounds.
It's getting better over here. But I think that, that's where you really got to sit there and go, okay, what is the level of harm?
Yes.
Okay, because spirit guides are not going to tell you to go jump off the bridge.
No.
They're not going to tell you that you're bad or evil or anything like that. Now, they may tell you, you need to lay off something or get in, start doing something more. But they're not going to be hateful, harmful, or any of that.
No, definitely not.
Um, so you have that going on. Then you have the other layer, which I think is more highly important, is finding your own spiritual verbiage to think.
Yes.
Um, and then figuring out what it is that it is.
Yeah. Because when you think about it, and this is another thing that gets me, a client will come to us and say, I believe I work with spirit, but I don't know what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you've got to figure that path for yourself. There is so many levels on working with spirit, so many different things you can do. It's
Right.
not good just saying, oh, I'm a medium, because under that medium comes so many other brackets and
Well,
so many other sensations.
right. And, I've had to correct a few people because I'm a psychic first.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not a, you know, I do mediumship because it's a skill that I've learned, but I'm not a medium. It's not like I can call up your nan and go, hey, what is the barbecue recipe that you used to put on the lamb? One, she's going to look at me and go, you can figure that out her damn self. And what
yeah,
the hell are you doing here?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you know. And I think that, we of medium psychics or whatever, the media tries to box us into both, and it's like, no, not all mediums are psychics, not all psychics
no,
are mediums, and
no,
not all um, tarot readers are psychics.
no. It's very rare you find a tarot reader that is psychic.
Really
Mm.
interesting.
Yeah, if you look at the platforms that we work
Mm-hmm.
and you read the bios, it's very far and few
Mm-hmm.
that they're psychic.
Right.
And I think on Fortunica, I think there's only 2 mediums that work on there.
That's probably correct because there is not like that's almost a dying art.
Yeah,
Like real, and then we get into real, true transference mediums
yeah,
and or trans mediums. Those are few and far between
yeah,
because nobody really wants. I think we got into a culture where it's like, hell no, you ain't getting my voice box, you ain't getting my head, you ain't getting my
yeah,
mouth. And then it's like, how do you translate that to online?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
example, I can read tea leaves. That's no big deal for me. You tell me how I'm gonna get you to get a cup of tea and do some leaves and pour, a specific amount of leaves in that cup, and sit there and steep it for 20 minutes, and then me and you do a tea reading. That's not going to work with the client, so it
no,
doesn't translate
no,
online. Um, Recently, I was able to start doing palm readings online. I found a way to do it. The cameras have finally gotten to where you can like tell the depth of the mounds and the
yeah,
lines and that type of thing. So I can do. I've started doing palm readings. Eventually, it'll become a thing, but it's got to trickle through. So I'm still working on translating that because I'm going to have like a picture this way, a picture this way, a picture
yeah,
this way. Like it's not just one image. No, I need like 5 images of what I would normally go looking at your hand.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, but like trans mediumship, that's actually dangerous to do online because what if like the connection breaks with the client? What if someone interrupts that connection?
yeah,
Like, for example, the Keen lady, please, 1 minute remaining, that'll send a trance medium into most convulsions because it doesn't
yeah.
equate.
I
Um,
won't do any trance work at all
mhm.
for the simple reason, yes, I could be okay, but if the client have got an underlying medical condition,
Uh-huh.
that could bring things on for them, and that's not a line I want to cross at all.
Well, see, I'm playing with sitting. What I mean by when I say I play, because I retired from nursing over 20 years ago.
Yeah,
So I play. This is all play for me. But I've been playing with sitting with spirit for a little while. And
yeah,
that's an older technique of like channeling. but it's getting, you got to get there. And I just don't have it. I cannot do verbal. I have to have auditorial at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
For mediumship. So it knocks out half the platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think as well, especially the way we work online,
Right.
it's more about safeguarding ourselves and our energies.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something I don't think clients think about.
Well, I don't think they think about it, but also, we get a lot of clients that are in crisis mode.
And then because we've tuned into them, we take that negative energy away from them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are holding on to that negative energy until we have finished our reading.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when then we are like, oh, God, because we are absolutely exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Because as well as our energies doing the reading, we're passing our positive energies to the client who's struggling.
Well, not only that, but then we have clients, and I got in trouble for this, and I'll get in trouble for it again because I'll promise you, year 3, read any feedback I've got, it'll have one phrase in it: he's rude. And I'm not rude. I have standards.
Yeah, I wouldn't call you rude. I would call you straight to the point.
Uh-huh.
Which for myself, if I was a client, I'd prefer that than all the pussyfooting about, well, oh, you need to do this. Oh, you just get on with it.
Yeah. Like, why are you dating? And I don't, I've said this to clients: why are you dating below your class?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Indian class system or culture class system. No, I'm talking about people who are well in tune with their spirit, they're well in tune with their intentions, but they keep dating these useless men that just want to tap and use, tap and use, tap and use. Oh, honey, I can't pay for dinner tonight. Can you go ahead and grab it for us? Oh,
And
honey.
this is all what it's about.
Exactly. Or I've had clients and I've taught them, I said, you're shopping in the clearance aisle for a man. Stop that.
Yeah.
You can't fix them up.
Yeah.
And, but there are clients that come in, and the ones that say I'm rude are the ones that are fucking up their life. They know they're fucking up their life.
So they're looking for you as a scapegoat.
Well, no, they're looking for me to tell them a fairy tale.
Yeah.
And I suck at storytelling, as we see in story time. I don't do fairy tales well. Like, no one read Cinderella to me. They read, the Grimm's the fairy tales to me with all the blood, guts, and gore. So yeah, I give it to you real. If your man's cheating, or even worse, he's cheating with you, and he got a wife, he ain't planning on leaving the wife.
No.
You're going to get told that. Like, it says it in my profile.
Yeah. Like, and I'm the same. I'm so blunt with it.
Yeah.
And I've had one lady say, I'm not coming back to you, you're rude. No. And I sent her a message back because obviously she messaged me that so I could message her back. And I was like, I'm not rude. I'm straight to the point. If you don't like it, choose another reader.
Right.
But the one thing I will advise is you check people's bios first.
Yes. Like, I don't do fluffy bunny readings. I've never done fluffy. Tell me, I had one client say, just tell me the good stuff. And I'm like, what? And literally, I put like the death card, the tower card, the nice words. I'm like, honey, I think that the sun is going to rise tomorrow. And she goes, what do you mean by that? I says, looking at your reading, that's the good stuff. The sun will rise tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, my point, and this is kind of like where we're going to get into things, is to tell you what you need to know so you can make choices and decisions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And use your will to change what you want. If you don't like what the reading says, then change your damn life.
And this is where our subject of free will comes into things.
Exactly. And time. We're going to be talking time, second part of the show, guys. But free will, and I think it's because people somewhere around the 90s started misusing us.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because they look for us to tell them the future, and that's what we do. I do predictive readings.
Yes.
Okay? But you have the free choice to change it. And I normally tell you how to change it. Like, if you want this relationship to grow, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, people come in and say, what's the lottery numbers? And look, love, if I knew the lottery numbers, I wouldn't be working myself.
See, here's the thing. I don't believe we can predict lightning striking people.
No.
That means quick, fast changes of life.
Yeah.
It's like Google can't predict you're going to have a flat tire on the interstate tomorrow. We also can't predict things like the lottery numbers.
No. And the thing is, most of the companies, right in the very, very bottom of the small print, states this is for entertainment reasons only.
Right.
And
see,
they have to do that by law, don't they?
Well, they do. They have to put it on by law because, we also can't do medical. We can't do legal.
No.
We can't do financial investment. But I don't know. There are times I just want to go 3, 27, 17, 16, 14, 32, Powerball 25, and just go with it and go, look, if you want entertainment, understand this is not a psychic reading. Here's your entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can just imagine the person who you've given those numbers to will give them to all their friends, and then they're all going to look like Wallies because none of them win.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Why does people want to win the lotto? Everyone knows the lotto has a curse on it. I have yet to meet someone that has comfortably won the lotto and made a change within their life that lasted for too long.
The change I would make, I would pay my son's mortgage off for him. I would buy my other son a house. I would buy my own house. Whatever's left, I would split between charities that mean a lot to me.
See, I'm so different. And I'll say this and you'll know what I mean. If I win the lottery, I'm going to Berlin and having a discussion.
If I win the lottery, I'll pay for that for you. Oh, goodness.
Because it's like, what do I enjoy doing? Do I enjoy playing on boats and planes and trains? No. I'm going to go make a debatable discussion about a financial execution of something.
Oh, no, mine would be, because we do a lot in the community, and I do a lot with the community shop, I would actually give them a massive slice to take all the children in the area away for the day.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
So you got to give me those lottery balls numbers.
Let's get to working on that one. I just wonder, however, if shops would see an increase in revenue on the days that you paid for the children to be gone.
I bet they would.
They probably would. But, free will in itself means that we give you the course. If you don't like the course, change it. And most of the times your psychics will tell you, well, if you want him to communicate and build this relationship faster, act less enthused. If you want him to do whatever, then do this. Like, this is how you change this predicament. He's not talking to me, then don't talk to him.
Yeah. And that's what they don't understand. And then they'll go against exactly what we've said, so they are using their own free will
to
contact them and then come back and show at us.
Oh, what I love. And I love all my clients. So they all do this once in a while. Aeson, I fucked up. What'd you do? I called him last night when I was drunk. Okay, so there needs to be a new boy code and a new girl code. If you're drinking, your DD, get your phone too.
Yeah.
When's he going to call me? 6 weeks from now? But last week you said 3 weeks.
Well, you and your silly antics have delayed everything.
Exactly. You're not listening to what I say. If I say leave your man alone and focus on your promotion, and then you call me 2 weeks later and say I got fired, were you still focusing on your silly man? Yeah, that's why you got fired.
Yeah.
You know, we're there to point out the big speed traps and potholes in your life.
It's up to you if you avoid them or not.
Exactly. And if you choose not to, well, you choose not to. You know.
Is that dog wagging his tail with you?
Yes, he is.
I know that drum sound anywhere.
Uh-huh. He will get up on the back. He loves laying on the very stoop of the back porch. And it's like, look, I understand that's the best sun point in the backyard. You can see your full kingdom there, but move. I'm on live stream.
But you know what? I love that it happens.
Uh-huh.
Because it shows that we are real.
Yeah, we are real. We have dryers that go off. We have washers that go off. You know, something that really occurred to me is I really think at times people think that we just sit in our chairs all day long.
Yeah.
And have like maids and stuff bring us food and stuff. It doesn't work that way, guys.
If only. If only.
If only. If it worked that way, it would be great. I was watching, there's a Russian psychic, and he has a show that interviewed him and showed his lifestyle. And when he's out, he's like, and he's a really big name. So, you know, unfortunately there, he can't go down the street without making a noise. You know, people following, hanging out, because they treat them like rock stars. And I'm like,
but that's no life in my view.
Huh?
That's no life in my view.
Me either. Like, because get me to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a strange scenario. Why would you want that type of life? Because he can't have a life because he can't go out.
No, he can't go out. He literally gets mobbed. Like, there's people standing outside his building hoping to get a reading, hoping to get, you know, something. And I'm like, no, that's not me. You know, that's not my way or any of that. But I just find it weird. Like, he has to have people go shop for him because he can't even go to Walmart. Now, I love being Walmarted. Do you know what Walmarted is?
No.
Okay, Walmart is where someone recognizes you.
Right.
You know, and comes up and, you know, oh, you helped me through, you know, I've had them, oh, you helped me through my divorce, or my husband's behaving since you told me how to get him to pay attention. And I love that. I love actually meeting my clients face on. And I can deal with that when it's one here, one every 2 months, one every 3 months, whatever. I don't think I could stand with a crowd outside that I have to hire security to go to freaking Walmart.
No. That's why I very rarely do readings at home.
Uh-huh.
Because whereas you live like out in the wilderness,
uh-huh,
I'm in an area which is built up with all houses, so everybody lives around each other.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I stopped doing readings at home.
Yeah, because they show up at your door at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. It took all my privacy away.
Exactly. That's why I don't do in-person readings. I do event readings, but I do not do in-person readings.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
You know, unless I'm at a store for an event or I'm, you know, gone to a location. Like, I don't take in-home readings.
No.
Definitely all right, let's take our commercial. When we come back, we'll talk about that debatable issue of time.
psychic reading on your phone. Your first 3 minutes are free. First, choose a topic or method. Second, choose a psychic. Third, start a call or chat. The first 3 minutes are on us. Install Zodiac Psychics now. Talk to a gifted and trusted psychic advisor.
For so long, everything was difficult because I was allowing it to be and almost finding more comfort in that chaos.
My psychic advisor really helped me stop and take a breath and look within and be okay with what was happening right now.
Having that 24/7 access is amazing. Just a quick moment to get some clarity.
We are here on a journey and we can't always control it. All we can do is be along for the ride.
All right, welcome back. Over. Okay, there we go. So we're all set back up. So how do you do time?
I always say time is an estimated thing.
It is.
Nothing is set in stone.
Right. Well, we have to understand on this side of the plane, we created time. We created time to track the movement of the sun and the movement of the moon. And then it grew into, okay, we are regulate the train, so let's make time zones.
Yeah.
And then the time hours, it went from midday to, and, my guy, David, always says, what do they think I got, this fucking agenda? With timestamps. Thursday at 3 o'clock, he'll message you good morning. Friday at 2 o'clock, that's, I had to actually have a conversation with him when we first started doing those getting readings about, well, when's he going to call? And they would go, yeah, before he's 40. And they're like, he's only 18. I'm like, we can't be giving them those answers. Like, we need to get a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
It's about 3 yards away from him.
Kathy, I had one client who was always coming for 2 minutes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes, disappear, come back an hour later, she's spoken to him. How does she reply? That type of thing.
Right.
And Kathy said to me on our last question, tell her to choose her own life path because I'm not doing this no more because she's too much.
Oh, well, we do tend to be Cyranos.
Oh, some people need to learn that they need to live their own life paths. Yes, right. Come to us. I don't believe in doing a reading every day for the same person. Because again, they come in to ask the time frames. Well, I'm sorry, love, your time frame haven't changed since 24 hours ago.
Exactly. Unless you really blew it up. The other one, does he love me? Yes, he loves you. 2 days later, does he love me?
Yeah. My best one was, does he love me? So I always ask for names and date of births because we all read in different ways, as you know. And I was thinking, there's no connection here. So me being me, I said to her back, I'm really struggling to get a connection between the two of you. You know how connections work, the same as I do. Do you know what her answer was? Yes, I spoke to him for 2 minutes on the bus. We went to school together.
Really?
I was like, so you don't actually know him. You cannot develop feelings for a person that you don't know.
Not healthily.
No.
Or my favorite is, I watch his Instagram all the time. Is he posting things for me? Now, there are some guys out there that do this.
Yes.
They do this and they do this. Okay? And they'll do this, and it's them building up their guts to say something to you, but also checking to see whether you're going to respond, you're going to react, you're going to comment on the song, whatever. Yeah. Okay. So we get that. We understand that. But the person has to know you, as in your name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Or, you have guys, and there are still a few out there that was raised that they have to have certain things to have a girlfriend.
Yes.
a job with money to pay for a date, they have to have, something tangible. I call it provider complex.
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll be dating you and dating along and da 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 da, da and then catch feelings, and all of a sudden they fucking ghost.
Yeah.
And it's like they've ran for the hills, and they're like, do they not like me anymore? No, they went to get their crap ready to have a relationship.
Yeah.
Give them 3 months.
This goes back to, I think, not just timings.
Mm-hmm.
What's your views? And this might upset some of our clients.
They always do.
What's your views in doing a reading for somebody every single day?
It slows it down. There's something in science called the observer effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the observer effect is the scientist watching the results changes the results comparative to the scientist not watching the results, like having a camera watch and record what goes on. It's called the observer effect. Okay, so let's break this down. One person watching one experiment of 2 atoms. So let's take that and let's multiply that. You have 2 people in a relationship, and then you introduce my energy into the situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you get done with me and you page Hazel. And then once you get done paging Hazel, you page the Empress Tarot. Then I have started readings, and all I see is this big white room with muddy footprints all the way through in different colors. And I'm like, honey, how many readings have you had? How many readers has looked at this and told you he will call you? Or there's love there. Oh, I've talked to about 7 or 10 or 20. I had one woman say, I've called somebody every day for the past 30 days, and he's not made contact. And they all say he will. Why do they keep telling me he'll make contact? Because.
Yeah. I always advise my clients, and I don't know if you do the same, only stick to 2 or 3 readers at the very, very most.
Right. And this is what I also say. And networks don't like when I say this. Don't come back when they go, when should I come back for a reading? When something happens.
Yeah. My private readings, I won't do. I like to have a 6-week gap between them.
Ooh, that's a nice gap. I say a 4th night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go to 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
For the simple reason, with me, Kathy always gives timings. How can I explain this? She'll say to me, it'll happen within 4 weeks.
Uh-huh.
So I always go the 6-week timings for my private readings, so that it gives it time for things to happen and for things to have moved forward before their next reading.
Right. Yeah. And I also always, for me, it's always within. And here's why. Because when David shows it to me, I can tell how close it is. I.e. it's right here in front of me. So it's within a couple hours or a couple days.
Yeah.
Towards it's down the road for me. Like I'm getting a fuller view of the event. So that's 6, 8 weeks, 3 months, 2 years.
Oh, it's over in England with me.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, that'll happen in, your high school sweetheart will pop up in your 80s.
Yeah.
You got 3 more men we got to get around first.
But that's the thing. When they're having too many readings, too many different energies are getting involved. Right. That confuses the universe. My favourite saying is, go with the flow and let the universe lead you forward.
Right. And this is an experiment I would love for our listeners to go do. I want you to go read a book. And I want you to find somebody, preferably someone you know, so that it's not, strangers in your house isn't a good thing. Find someone. And as you're reading this book, and I want you to find something you're going to get engrossed in, maybe a technical manual. And all I want them to do is to walk in the room, tell them to look around the room, walk out of the room.
Yeah.
Okay? And do that 2 or 3 times. And then have them quiz you on the pages you read.
Yeah.
Okay? You will notice when they walk in the room, you lose your train of thought.
Yeah.
So if you've got 40 of us tracing through your life.
Yes, definitely. And the thing is, it's not just that. We are looking at intimate things.
Oh, yeah.
When we tune in, we just don't look at the surface. We deep dive.
Yeah.
And if you've got a 6-foot swimming pool, which is only 6 foot square, people are going to have to be jumping out somewhere.
Exactly. And just, going through and doing readings and, having reading after reading after reading. My grandmother used to say, these people must need brick houses to fall on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I don't think she got that from The Wizard of Oz. I think she got that from, like, some news story or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's obvious he loves you, or he would not be working a second job. And this is what gets me, especially over here in the U.S. Women want successful men. Okay? Successful men aren't made just by sitting on the couch and texting you all freaking day.
No, they're not.
Okay?
They're not.
They don't answer text messages that often. They're busy working. Okay? If you want a rich man, you got to act like a rich woman. Rich women see their men maybe 3 to 4 times a month. Go the hell away, go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, this is going to sound strange for what we do, but I get so frustrated when the women come to us and they say, I need somebody to look after me. I need somebody who will provide for me. And I'm like, geez, he's not your dad. You're looking for a husband, but a husband is totally different to a father figure.
Right. Well, what gets me is, I don't mind them wanting a father figure. What I mind them wanting, or a provider and someone to take care of them, is then them also wanting the qualities of slum.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want a quality man, then you're going to have to deal yourself in quality.
Yeah.
Which means you're going to have your own independent love language. You're going to have your own understanding of yourself. You're going to have your life in order for him to deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. And that's the thing. I always say, when you have kids, you're not given a manual. And that's the same with relationships.
Right.
And I think that's what people fail to realize.
Well, see, but a lot of them use Cinderella and Snow White as relationship manuals, and it's not that. It's like relationships are not 50-50. No. Some days they're 90-10, some days they're 10-90, some days they're 15-30, and you hire a maid.
Yeah, yeah. And the amount of times we've asked, I've argued with him, is he going to contact me? He will, but leave him calm down.
Yeah.
The arguments are healthy within a relationship.
Debates are healthy. Fistfights are not healthy.
See, that's where arguments over here are debates.
Yeah.
Fist fights, we actually call fights.
Yeah. Fistfights is not healthy.
No.
And let's just be very, very clear. If your man is beating your ass and that's not your kink, get out.
Get out. And I will say, guys, if any of you are in that position, just contact us because we will give you the advice you need. Yes, we will work in the background on Google while we're speaking to you, but you just giving us your location, we can find the outside agencies that would help you get out of that situation. If anybody is in domestic violence, don't feel you're alone, because you do it. Certainly not.
Right. Very much so. And I kind of touched on something there, but let's dance into it. Kink, relationships come in many flavors.
Yes.
Okay? Domestic violence is not a flavor.
No, it's not. It's not. And that could actually be a topic for next week.
Okay.
Domestic violence, and I can't say the word tidy, coercive behavior.
Well, coercive behavior. see, let's talk about those. Let's talk red flag, green flags.
Yeah.
Let's do it that style, because there's a lot of red flag, green flags, but there's also a lot of what should be negotiational.
Yes.
And then there's gaslighting.
I'm going to do us a post-it, because
Thank
you
you.
know what we like?
We love our post-its. And then, I'll catch it. I'll have you give it to me at the end of the show, because I'll also let everyone else know. But we'll cover unhealthy relationships. Because domestic violence, gaslighting of a partner, manipulation of a partner, those are all deal enders.
And the thing is, because people are stuck at home in this situation, they don't realize what agencies that are there to help them.
Right. And they also don't realize that what they're doing is not.
No, because they've done it for so long, they don't realize it's not part of a relationship.
Well, not only that, but I also find that it's generational.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, over here, unfortunately, the evangelicals in this country have almost, become a generational thing that you have to keep control of your wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be the man of the house, and I wanted to take on all that if we're going to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that you might find interesting is over here, domestic violence is actually classed now. If you live, like my son lives with me, so if he was to go crazy and hit me or damage something in the house, that is actually classed as domestic violence now.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Yeah. It hadn't long come into play over here.
Right.
So that's another thing to look at. People think domestic violence is just a man hitting a woman or the other way round.
Mm-hmm.
Or I was surprised at how many people didn't realize domestic violence went on in same-sex couples as well.
Oh, worse.
Yeah. And that was my answer as well.
Yeah, do not take this wrong, but honey, I will take on a mad cisgendered straight person any day over a very mad diesel dyke. I am not dealing with her.
Yeah.
She has power tools.
Yeah. And I think that's what people forget as well, because some people are in a same-sex relationship. They think domestic violence don't count, but it do.
Yeah, it does. And nowadays it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's become more of a highlight. Isn't it like, oh, you two just need to calm down. But I also think that, mental domestic violence is worse than physical domestic violence.
Yeah.
And the mental comes first.
Yes. Play with your brain to get you to that point where you think you're the one in the wrong all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when everything then goes downhill.
Right. Or that's when things start getting chipped away and you don't really notice it. Or, or another one. I don't like your friend's attitude towards me.
Yeah.
They're very disrespectful of our relationship.
Yeah.
You shouldn't hang out with them.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like that top on you tonight. That makes you look fat. What he's technically saying is, get that top off, is too revealing.
Uh-huh. But,
so,
right.
There's so many different ways as well.
Yeah, there's so many manipulational things. And I saw a spike in this when, what is that book? 50 Shades of Grey came out. So many spikes of this, of these manipulative people going, oh, but that's part of, we'll say it, BDSM. No. No, sorry.
No.
That's not how that works.
No.
Yeah. Or
I think it's interesting because how many of the friends have noticed, but then when they say something to one of the couple, then they are cut dead and not allowed to be spoken to again because they're causing trouble.
Oh yeah. Or breaking that little shell there.
Yes.
Yeah. So definitely, we will take on what red flags and green flags of relationships. We're going to also talk about what I call the process of disarmament.
Yeah.
Because there's a way to disarm, because there are two different types of people. There are actual abusers, and those you can't fix. There's those that think that this is how it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those you have to really look at and question.
And I never talk about this, but guys, I've been there myself.
Uh-huh.
So never, ever be afraid to speak to me on that matter.
Yeah.
The same as yourself, you're always there and you will support whoever needs. Just because we work for psychic lines, don't mean that we're not there for you just for normal chit chat when you need help.
Right.
And if we can signpost you, if we can signpost you, even if it means we have to go to management and say, look, I need to speak to this client. Can you please give me a question to answer them?
Right.
Because our management will safeguard us, but they're also concerned about the well-being of the clients.
Right, very much so. Or, and, we can also talk about escape plans.
Yes.
Yeah, and how to make that happen. Because, it's a very big factor nowadays. But it's also, I think, on the rise again. Have you watched Shiny Happy People yet?
No, not yet.
Oh.
Should I put that on my to-do list for this week?
Yeah. You should watch Shiny Happy People, and because it is all about this male dominant relationship BS, religious doctrine, spoil the rod, spare the rod, spoil the child, controlling and making sure your wife is modest, and it's just so much BS. They're not shiny or happy.
And that's the thing. People get so transfixed with living the life of other people expect them to. They put on this persona of they're happy.
Right.
And that's a massive part of life for everybody. You've got to learn to live your own lives, to be happy within yourselves.
Yeah.
Not somebody to make you feel rubbish or somebody make you feel you're lesser than you actually are.
Right. And then I think we can also take on, I don't know, do you feel comfortable dancing into that taboo topic?
Which one? There's so many.
Divorce.
Oh, I got no problems with that one.
Yeah, let's take on the spiritual side of divorce. Because I don't know, we've already cleared up that there's no hell, we're living it. Let's talk divorce and what that actually is, and how that looks in the chart, and what your guide says, and we'll compare what my guide says about it.
Divorce is freedom.
Exactly, honey.
I had a divorce party.
I know, but we'll talk about the spiritual side of it, because I think a lot of people talk about the real life side of it, like, children having two homes and yada, yada, yada. And they, and this is a real big one. Well, you're still married in the eyes of the church unless you get an annulment. And it's like, no.
And a good thing that we could do the week after is the differences in culture. I have a client who is Chinese. She's with a Western man. When I say Western, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's still married, but she can't accept that. But as I've tried to explain to her, they've split up and they've been split up years.
Yeah.
But as I tried to explain to her, in cultures, they've split up. So as far as he's concerned, his marriage has ended.
You're right.
But in her eyes, they're still married. And she can't get her head around that.
Okay, we can talk about that, because that was very When did Britain didn't get the right to divorce until what, 64?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah.
It would actually be good if we followed on next week with the week after about culture marriages and how culture marriages are different.
Right. Yeah. 19, like, it's going to be 100 years since you got the basis to have a divorce for adultery. Now, this isn't like, I want to divorce you because I can't stand your cooking. Yeah, divorce in England and Wales. It was 9 divorce separation. Wow. Act of 2020. Y'all guys just redone your laws? That's scary.
Yeah. Over here now, the biggest divorce reason is unreasonable behavior.
Wow. 1973 is when Material Causes Act of 1973 is when you are given the reason of, I don't like you anymore.
I was born in 73. My mum got divorced in 78.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing she could get him divorced on was the way he behaved towards her.
Really?
And she had to show evidence of that as well.
Yeah. So we can talk about divorce and different cultural divorces.
Yeah.
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 And how a divorce costs him more than the actual marriage.
Well, I think that has to do with that, keeping families together.
And that's a hard one for parents.
Uh-huh.
Because you know as well as I know, you always get one that likes to really annoy the other one and will do anything to push the buttons.
You always get, well, let's talk for in-laws, because I have a rule. I don't normally like my in-laws. I've got one wonderful mother-in-law. She's amazing. I've got a great group of sister-in-laws, but those are the first in-laws I've liked in 30 years.
Yeah. But that's because they're on your level.
Yeah, very much so. But, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to keep a marriage together. It takes a lot to break it apart. And it's worse when one of the parties is not mature enough to actually do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you totally.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're at the top of the hour. So, what are you doing this week?
I'm back to my normal hours again.
Awesome.
After a few technical difficulties, I'm back on. I've gone blank. Zodiac tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Because I think there have been a few techie issues over all platforms this week. I don't know whether there's something going on. Let's have a look. Right. That would explain it. We had a full moon last Monday.
Oh, everything goes crazy on full moon.
Yeah, and we got half moon tomorrow.
That's good. We can get moving on.
Let me just check my... Oh, where are we? 1 month are we in? July.
Yeah.
We haven't got... We got the grey moon on August the 1st.
Yep. One awesome moon.
And then on the 31st of August, we've got the fruit moon.
Okay.
Oh,
It's gonna be snowing soon.
that means I'll be killing anybody that comes in my way.
Yay!
That goes well with the menopause.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right. So, guys, I'm, of course, going to be on between 9 and 1 a.m. 9 in the morning and 1 a.m. It varies. I do take breaks throughout the day. And remember, I do podcast throughout the week. So you guys can go and find me. You guys can make sure to contact me on King, Zodiac, Fortunica. If you don't have time for a real long reading, see me on Fortunica because that's where you get your email and private questions answered. Zodiac is wonderful for text readings. King is wonderful for phone calls and, nice, good conversations, that type of thing. And I do want to remind everybody, when you get a reading with a psychic, take 3 minutes. They've taken an hour or whatever, and leave feedback for that psychic.
Definitely. And remember, 3 minutes minimum if you're doing a chat or call, because we need to tune in.
Yeah.
That takes time.
It takes me a moment to figure out what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Especially when the question is, tell me about my significant other and how he feels about me. Who's your significant other?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Always come prepared with your name and your date of birth.
And your question.
The person's name and date of birth.
Yeah.
Because when you say, does he love me? Do you mean Tom, Derek, Edward?
Yeah.
There's lots of people around.
Exactly. Which one are we talking about? Are we talking about the guy that's been eyeing you at the coffee shop for a week? Or are we talking about the one you're trying to actually have a relationship with?
Yeah.
So guys, we'll see you next Monday at 5 p.m. ES time or
10 p.m. UK time. Well, I say UK time is Greenwich Mean Time, GMT.
Yes, GMT. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.